Welcome into Marketology. I'm your host, Drew Martin, coming to you from an undisclosed location in the southeast part of the United States, running from a monster hurricane, plus some other things, some curveballs life throws at you, or you step in front of, whatever way you want to look at it. Anyway, excited to be talking some college football. I'm actually close to Atlanta, I guess considered by a lot as the college football capital of the universe. So really excited to talk these college football moves early in the week out on Bet Online. Came out yesterday with the sides. The totals came out a little bit earlier today. They were first to market. A lot of big moves, going over those moves, both totals wide and sidewise. Also going over last week's record and try to get you on a couple winners this week as well. So let's get right into it. 107, 108, a midweek game. We got Illinois versus USF. South Florida opens minus 15.5, bet up to minus 17.5 right now at Bet Online. Pretty much 18 across the board. I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. The Bulls, the more talented team, even though it's a Power 5 team in Illinois, taking on a G5 team in South Florida. The athletes are really going to be on South Florida's side. They've out-recruited Illinois, and it shows. I think they're the better coach team as well. So I agree with this move. Now up to pretty much 18 across the board. Could have got USF down at minus 15.5 yesterday at Bet Online. We also got 137, 138. We got UCLA, the Bruins, traveling to Memphis. Not sure what they were thinking scheduling this game. Nonetheless, week 3 college football here. UCLA Memphis total opens 68.5, bet up to 74.5 now at Bet Online. That's a full touchdown move we missed out on. If you didn't jump on the UCLA Memphis total when it opened, I did not, kind of kicking myself for it. But nonetheless, interesting to note, both of these teams, the market is viewing as over teams. We got 121, 122, Coastal Carolina, the newbies, the Chanticleers, the new team to FBS, taking on UAB, who's also back from, I guess, a hiatus of playing Division I college football. This total opens 63, bet down to 57.5. This is an interesting one because Coastal Carolina, they strike me as kind of an over team. Their passing game is really good. They got athletes at the wide receiver position, guys that can really, house it when they catch it. So as far as betting Coastal Carolina under, it's surprising to me. UAB is a team I haven't seen much of this year. Obviously, there's some sharp guys out there, some guys shaping this market that have UAB pinned towards an under team. Something to watch closely in the weeks to come, betting on or against UAB. Another one here, 145, 146. Utah State, the Aggies, traveling to North Carolina to take on the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. The Demon Deacons are favored by about 13.5, but this total is another one I'm interested in. It was actually bet towards the under. 54.5 is the opener at Bet Online today. Now all the way down to 48.5. So almost a full touchdown just in a couple hours here. So some sharp guys in the market have Utah State and Wake pinned towards the under. Something to keep in mind in going forward when looking to bet on either of these two teams. That's the first slate wanted to go over. Another slate here, 4 more games for you. A big game here, 165, 166. The Volunteers of Tennessee taking on Florida, the Gators. The Gators open 8.5-point favorites at home, now down to 5.5. Some interesting things going on here with the hurricane. Practice time, not sure if that has something to do with it. Also, Florida kind of came out against Michigan and didn't look all that good, especially offensively. So laying more than a touchdown with the Gators is a big question mark. Obviously, the market kind of bucking that and going on Tennessee. Tennessee opened up 8.5-point favorites, now down, or 8.5-point underdogs. Now you can only catch 5.5 right now with Tennessee. Another one here, 149, 150. Central Michigan Chippewas versus the Syracuse Orange. This one's pretty obvious. I think Syracuse, as a totals-wise team under Dino Babers, is straight towards the over. The market liking it here. Opened up 61. now up to 66. No matter really who they're playing, it's tough to bet Syracuse on an under, especially when you see them in the low 60s. It's almost an auto that's going to get bet up, and we see it here 61 up to 66. Two more here, 155, 156. Purdue versus Missouri. This total is one that I love. I actually bet it. I didn't get on it on the opener, but got it a little bit later. 67.5 it opened, now up to 73. When you look at these pace metrics, we know Missouri was one of the fastest in terms of tempo last year. Also, Purdue. Braum has brought over the offensive philosophy from Western Kentucky. They looked good last week. I could see a lot of points in this one. I like this game over as well. I bet it. I'd recommend it. Last one here, 113, 114, Kent versus Marshall. And this is really a fade on Kent. They got to be one of the worst teams in Division I football. I mean, Marshall has question marks all over the field. They open up double-digit favorites, not enough. Open up 11.5, already bet up to minus 15. So over 2 touchdowns you're having to lay with the Thundering Herd. So that's a tough one there. And it's probably tough for the books to get any kind of bets coming in on Kent. That's why we're seeing Marshall such a high favorite. But guys, we gave out some plays last week on Marketology. Want to go over a couple of them here, kind of keep record wise. And if you can't track it, you can't improve on it. So that's what we're going to try to do here with Marketology. Win or lose, kind of go over what we did. We gave out, 5 plays last week. One of them was the UCF game. So that one, it graded as a no play. They didn't play Memphis, but we were on Buffalo plus 17. They ended up losing 21-17 to Army, pretty much covered the whole way. So that one there, Buffalo a winner. We had the San Jose State, Texas over 63. Texas won 56-0. So didn't get to the over. As far as grading the play, I really would have liked to seen San Jose State put up at least 2 touchdowns. That would have got us to the over. Nonetheless, it was a loss. The UCF play, no play. Tulsa over 63. And also I had a side and a total play here, minus 14.5. The over 63, Tulsa hit by themselves. I believe they scored 66 points. ULL also put up 42, so over 100 points in that game. So the over hits with ease. The side, Tulsa minus 14.5, loses by a half a point. Run differential there. I mean, we hit the total by 40 points, lose the side by a half a point. That one hurts. This whole, I guess you could say, what is it? Run differential last week, we killed it. Nonetheless, we went 2-2, and so we lost juice. And there you have it. Wanted to show up the record there. So 2-2 on the first, college football episode of Marketology. Got another bet here for this week, one that I bet personally, one that I like. Just one, though. We don't have 4 like last week. Game number 175, App State, Texas State. This is a Sun Belt game, 2 teams that I follow closely. And one thing you got to keep in mind when betting these, there's a large discrepancy in the good teams and the bad teams. Texas State is a bad team. Appalachian State is a good team. So keeping that in mind, App State minus 24 on the road. I know it sounds like a lot of points on the road, the whole travel situation. It's a tough one. But Scott Scotterfield is a good coach. He's always got this team ready to play well. In the last couple of years of covering them, they don't really have letdown games per se. So going on the road, really taking it to the lesser talented team in Texas State, which has a lot of issues, has a lot of kind of attitude issues as well. When you're playing a really good team, that's something that you don't like to see when you're looking to bet on a team like Texas State. The Bobcats are definitely, a bottom 20 Division I football team. App State minus 24 on the road, like Scott Scatterfield in company to cover this number. So that's what we'll go with for the play for Marketology this week. Just one play. And guys, went over a couple games there with a big moves. Keep in mind the bet online openers this week. As far as the totals, they were out as early as I can remember. It came out earlier than 2:00 Eastern today. I actually missed them, which I was kind of pissed off about by about a half hour. missed a couple of these moves. So, something to keep in mind next week when we talk on Mondays. The Bet Online totals will be out and the sides come out on Sunday. So, guys, yeah, that's the Marketology. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at Drew Martin Bets. Also use hashtag AskSBR. Let me know if you want to go over anything else as far as college football to do with the betting market. Happy to answer it on this show. And yeah, hit me up on Twitter. That's it for Marketology this week. I'll be back next week, next Monday. We'll be filming it. It will come out Tuesday morning, and I'll be back in Costa Rica. So look forward to talking to you then.